When the letter finally arrived, 30 years had already passed. Most people would have thrown it away. But one sentence inside changed everything. On a quiet afternoon, a man named Adam sat alone on the porch of his small house. Life had not turned out the way he once imagined. He was 60 years old. His hair had turned gray. The dreams of his youth felt like distant memories. Most days looked the same. And most nights ended with the same question. What would my life have been if things had been different? Then something unusual happened. A postal worker stopped outside his house. Adam rarely received mail. Almost nobody wrote letters anymore. But this envelope was different. The paper was yellow. The corners were worn. The stamp looked ancient. Even stranger was the date. The letter had been mailed 30 years earlier. Adam stared at it in disbelief. There had to be a mistake. Slowly he turned the envelope over. Then his heart stopped. The sender's name was familiar. It was his father. Adam sat frozen. His father had died 28 years ago. With shaking hands, he opened the envelope. For a moment, he could not bring himself to read it. Memories flooded his mind. The arguments. The misunderstandings. The years of silence. Adam had spent most of his life believing his father never cared about him. That belief followed him for decades. It shaped his decisions, his relationships, even the way he saw himself. Finally, he unfolded the letter. The handwriting was unmistakable. It was his father's. The letter began simply, "My son." As Adam read each line, his eyes filled with tears. His father wrote about the mistakes he had made. The long hours at work. The missed birthdays. The moments he could never get back. He admitted things Adam never expected him to admit. For the first time, Adam saw honesty instead of pride. Regret instead of anger. Love instead of distance. Then he reached the final paragraph. The paragraph that changed everything. His father wrote, "If you ever think I was disappointed in you, you are wrong. I was always proud of you. I just never knew how to say it." Adam stopped reading. For a long moment, he could not move. 30 years. For 30 years he had carried a story in his mind. A story that was not true. He believed he was unwanted. Unappreciated. Never good enough. And now, with a few simple words, that story fell apart. The letter did not change the past. His father was still gone. The lost years could not be recovered. But something inside Adam changed. A burden he had carried for decades suddenly felt lighter. That evening, he sat outside watching the sunset. The same sunset he had seen thousands of times before. But it felt different. For the first time in years, he felt peace. Over the following months, Adam began reconnecting with people he had pushed away. He repaired broken relationships. He spoke more openly. He forgave old wounds. Not because the letter erased the past, but because it helped him see the truth. One day, his grandson asked why he kept the old letter in a wooden frame beside his desk. Adam smiled. Then he gave the answer he wished he had learned much earlier. Sometimes one sentence can change your life. Not because it gives you something new, but because it reveals a truth you were unable to see. Years later, the letter remained in the same frame. Old. Faded. Fragile. But its message never lost its power. Because Adam learned a lesson most people never realize. We often suffer more from the stories we tell ourselves than from reality itself. Sometimes the truth arrives late. Very late. But when it does, it can still change everything. So before you leave, ask yourself one question. What story have you been believing about yourself that might not be true? And how would your life change if you finally saw the truth?